Hey guys, I'm JanetOnOccasion, and today we are playing Total War Warhammer 3. What? Yeah, so anyway, we got a battle demo to play. I got to play this a couple of weeks ago now. It was remote. By that I don't mean I played it on a mountain, I mean I played it remotely. I was at my desk at home and this was on a computer somewhere across the world. So, yeah, sorry, I haven't been able to record it live. I've been sent the footage and now I can talk over it, right? So, I've actually just got this in my editing software. It's 1080p, the footage, but this video I'm doing in 2K so I don't lose as much information. So if you think, this doesn't look 2K, it's because technically it's not, but keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. So the demo is in 1080p, and I've been sent 1080p footage, and that's what we're looking at. Right now it's looped because, well, I don't want to spoil anything. I want to give you the opening rigmarole. So, but I think that's it. I think that's it, really. So I played this remotely, so I'm not able to do it live, and it's 1080p. Brilliant. That's it. Let's crack on. So here you can see we got a bit of flavor text before the battle, which is really fun. So Katarin, the Ice Queen of Kislev, has taken her loyal forces into the realm of chaos. That's quite a big deal. Searching for what is lost. So currently, what we know about the story is that some god of the old world is dead. But it's a god, so, you know, resurrection can happen and things, like, who knows. Don't know what god it is, but that seems to be the main thing. That's why Chaos has decided now is the time to strike, and that's why Katarin is well, in the realm of Chaos, right? Quite big things are happening in the old world. So, their quest has brought them to the Brass Citadel. Such an intrusion cannot go unanswered by Khorne, the Chaos God of Rage and War, and so he sends forth a legion of demons to destroy the trespassers. Prepare to fight a survival battle and guide the Ice Queen's forces deep into Khorne's realm. Survival battle. That's what this sort of battle is called, and you'll see why it's not just a regular battle very shortly. So, the battlefield is partitioned into 3 areas. During your fight, earn supplies to build upgrades and abilities, allowing you to move deeper into the Citadel and closer to your goal. Cool, let's crack on. So first off here you can see, just like quest battles, it gives us this little introductory thing. We have to click start battle. So we've got capture points. They're like capture points, they're points that you can capture, just like every Total War. But these will give us supplies. We have resources now. We have resource management in a battle now. How crazy is that? And we can use those to build structures, get reinforcements, upgrade units, or replenish them. So that is all madness. So cracking on.
Where the blood god's gatekeeper stands guard. We must call out the fiend and slay him. He rallies his demons for a last desperate defense. Vanquish them with ice and steel. This is a ruined fort, defended by Khorne's lesser thralls. Wipe them out and capture the icon of ruin. This will give me a foothold and grant us supplies to reinforce for the struggle ahead.
So, the visual design is gorgeous, and for the first time we actually... Oh, right, yeah. I went to look at the graphic settings when I first got in. I went to turn on cinematic smoothing for the camera, but I can't. You can't access any of the settings, so I couldn't show you the graphic settings or anything. Sorry, guys, but that's probably a lot of people are asking that question already, and now that's answered. Let's carry on. So this is the first time we're actually seeing the models of any of these units in action, which is really cool. You know, we only had like the cinematic, you know, versions of them, which are a lie, you know. These are the proper in-action ones, which is amazing. So here we have the Tsar Guard. These are the boyars that I'm zooming in on here, who are all, yeah, all muscle-bound, sleeveless lunatics. They live in the ice place. You know, they live in Kislev, which is an icy tundra, and yet, yeah, all sleeveless. Why? Because they're manly. That's right. So, Tzarina Katarin, probably the manliest of all. She can kick more ass than any of these people. So, Tzarina Katarin has a bunch of spells, all lore of ice, which is brand new for Kislev. Obviously, it was mentioned in the White Dwarf supplements that made up the small leaflet that was the Kislev army book back in the day. So very, very cool to see that. We will see some of those spells in action over the course of this battle. So the Boyar's moving up. The Tsar Guard are the sword and shield infantry. So nice to have sort of a more traditional sort of soldier type for people who haven't maybe played Warhammer before or something. It's just a more traditional army. And we also have the winged lancers, which are just superb. They feel so good to play as well. They are incredibly sturdy. Well, I say incredibly sturdy. They're incredibly sturdy on the charge. They will just smash things around, kill everything in a heartbeat. They're very, very deadly, but they're light cavalry. You don't want to bog down, but they are incredibly mobile and do a hell of a lot of work. They are very, very good cavalry, and they feel really good to play. They really they have impact in this build. The mass of cavalry feels really good. So I know that'll be a concern for a lot of people. The units feeling good, and they do feel good to use. They have a lot of impact, do a lot of damage, and can get in and out of a fight in a hurry. So very cool. Really big fan of the Winged Lancers. Glad they've been done justice.
The icon of ruin is ours, and we have supplies to fortify our position. Use them to construct defensive towers here. We can barricade these bottlenecks. Use the portals to summon fresh troops or heal and upgrade our warriors, using whatever supplies we have left.
So, very, very cool indeed. So now, this is the first sort of survival thing going on. Now we have to hold this area, right, while a wave of demons come at us, basically. There's going to be just a wave of enemies. So you might notice, actually, the enemies we've already defeated, there were some bloodletters.
Khorne's demons attack!
Here we go.
Hold fast, warriors!
So you might notice they're a bit flimsy. That's because in this game mode, they are flimsy. So all the enemy units have a fraction of the health that they would normally have, but it means that they can throw more and more enemies at us, so they can really just sort of make you feel overwhelmed, and it definitely gave me that impression. I found sort of winning this battle was fairly easy. It is a press demo. It does need to be, playable by a bunch of people who, work for IGN or something, and don't play Total War full time like I seem to. So, it's a press demo. But I constantly felt overwhelmed, just having so much stuff come at me all the time. It was really fun. It's really hectic, and it really feels like you're under pressure, even though you know that each individual unit isn't really going to pose too much of a threat. Just the fact that they are just relentless, they just don't stop, I think is really cool. It's a lot of fun indeed. So here, a bunch of Chaos Warhounds, not Flesh Hounds of Khorne, sadly, just normal Chaos Warhounds for the moment. We were told there's still plenty of surprises left. So, presumably, there are some Flesh Hounds somewhere. They're probably a smaller, more scary unit. So, we'll see. But here, we can build towers, which is mad! We're building towers and barricades in Total War, which is crazy. I love it. I think it's really interesting. So that's not going to be the general course of battle, right? It's only in these survival battles. You can see right now we have Wave 1 at the top with the percentage. That's how many of these we need to kill before the way to the next capture point will open. All those walls of fire will disappear once we exhaust this wave, so hence the survival, right? A survival battle. So we're surviving against hordes, which is really cool. I think it's fantastic. I think it makes a really interesting break from the usual sort of modes of battle, in Total War. Just having to break up that sort of usual flow of battle. Just have something that feels a bit different, and it feels very different, but it still feels very Total War. And it's very exciting. I mean, look at this stuff. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So anyway, yeah. So we're building demons. So demons. This is an important one. Demons work just like undead do. Right? They cause fear, and they'll crumble if their leadership goes. And they're immune psychology. So they work just like undead troops do. Which is the same with tabletop. They work the same way, and they do here. But Khorne, in particular, Khorne. Also demon units will have magical attacks because they're made out of magic, right? They're not material beings. They are the they're magic made form, like given form, in our realm. So they all have magic attacks, which is good for Khorne especially because he doesn't have magic. Khorne doesn't have magic. He doesn't like magic. It's the coward's way out to use magic to kill people when you need to look them in the eye and do it. So yeah, so it's good they do have some way to counter sort of ethereal units and things. Though I think that the abundance of magic damage within demons might make playing as sort of vampire counts or something a bit of a nightmare if you want to use a lot of ethereal units, but you know, we'll see how that gets balanced. So that's really cool anyway. So demons work as expected, but you'll notice in this battle there's also a bunch of Chaos Warriors. We did get the odd close-up of those as well, which is interesting. So the Chaos Warriors obviously have been given the Khorne paint job, I suppose, and they look great. They look really good. You know, they look really good. It's not just a paint job. They've had, you know, modelling done. You know, they've had work done. They've had work done. They look so much younger. So they look great. I absolutely love it. The stuff I've seen so far, really good. There are plenty more units that we will see before the end of this demo, but I think they've done a really good job of the flavour and the feel and the look of all of that stuff. You know, I could talk a lot about the gameplay balancing and things, but of course this is such an early demo that stuff is just, yeah, everything I'm assuming is placeholder at this point. Just everything is. So anyway, field moving up now, which is good. We're going to get attacked from the other side in a minute, but we are getting there. So the towers and the barricades, there are 4 types of each, and I think they are flavoured to fit each faction, because I believe other factions will have these same survival battles. But the towers that we currently have, the magic towers, shoot ice blasts, it seems. They slow down the enemy as well as doing a bunch of damage. So it feels very much like a Kislev magic tower, right? As opposed to that of another faction, which I really like. You know, I hope that is consistent, and that each tower, each of the sort of the elite tower for every attacking force in the Realm of Chaos has their own unique one. That does seem to be the case currently. So you can see we can upgrade weapons down here. Down at the bottom left, you see those buttons. So we can upgrade the weapons, armor, and missile resist as well. We can upgrade their shields. We can upgrade all that stuff on the fly, but we can also restore health or vigor. And we can also, using our supplies, in the top by the way, if you haven't noticed that number at the top, the supplies, we get that for doing damage, or by taking over a counterpoint. So, you know, a couple of ways to gain resources there, which is nice. You can also get Winds of Magic back, you can buy, and you can restore vigor and health on a unit. Obviously you can build things, which is great, and you can also get reinforcements. So there are reinforcements that I can purchase, which I have done already. We got the Streltsy, which are very cool. So the Streltsy have gun axes, just to be the most heavy metal thing ever. Oh, here we're using, was it Heart of Winter, I believe is the spell, which is basically like final transmutation. Does big damage in that area, which is great, but it slows and damages more the longer people are in it. So it'll slow you down as well as doing damage, which is unlike final transmutation. But the longer you're in it, the harder it'll be to get out and the more damage you'll take, as you're frozen solid, basically. So like, look at that. How cool is that? So it has these different phases. It's very, very cool indeed. So love that spell. It wiped them out, which is amazing. Ah, really good effects. So that's great. Absolutely love that. And the fact you can just buy more Winds of Magic, it really gives you incentive to keep using spells when you get the opportunity, which is great. I love that. So this was the first time I played this battle, by the way. I played this battle a couple of times. The other one I'll probably put up without commentary. I'll just put that up if you guys want to watch me play this a second time. Or hate the sound of my voice. Either one, you know. Either one. Suits me fine. So, oh, what else is there to talk about? Yeah, the Streltsy, they have gun axes. This, I think, is brilliant as like a cultural thing. That sort of versatility, that's something that Kislev really need, given their harsh environments. So the fact that they have guns, but also the butt of their gun has an axe head on it, it really shows that versatility, and I think that's really interesting, you know? If they need to, like, dig in, chop down some trees, put up a makeshift barricade against something, to have that gun line, you know, it feels like they have all the tools there. Or, if something gets on top of them, they can just start chopping them to bits, you know, with those axes. It just feels very much a necessity for sort of Kislev troops to be that versatile.
We must press on into the blood pits and seize the icon of blood.
So I love how the icon of blood, she knows what it's called. I don't know what, where she got a map for this place, but she said it's so matter of fact. Go to the icon of blood, which looks amazing. It's a big old blood fountain. Obviously, you know, skull motif. Khorne quite likes skulls. I don't know if you guys knew that. Khorne, he's big on skulls, likes them a lot, has a collection. Eccentric guy, that Khorne. So, yeah, the winged Lancers are just cleaning up so many Chaos Warhounds. They've been doing a lot of killing, but I'm going to heal them up a bit here. I do want them to have a bit more health. Bless them. And we're going to move on to the next. So, yeah, you can heal. There is a healing cap for those heals, much like there is with any other healing in Total War Warhammer, you know, in the franchise. There is a healing cap that you can't surpass, so you can't heal one unit forever and solo the entire battle with one unit. That won't work. You'll still have to be clever because you can only get so much healing, as well as the resource management as well, you know, with the amount of supplies you've got. So bloodletters, they look amazing. I love bloodletters. You know, there's some of the demons of Khorne there. So, yeah, unique to Khorne, by the way. Unique to his faction. They all have magic resistance because he hates magic. Makes sense. And they all have frenzy because of course they do. So frenzy and magic resistance. And they also have magic damage if they're demons, because all demons have magic damage, and they work like undead with, you know, immune psychology, and they crumble if they're in a bind. So here we go. Yeah, more hounds coming in, and you'll see I am leaving some units behind because we are still going to get attacked from that side. We will get attacked at every capture point, every single wave. And so it means that if you want to keep that capture point and all the towers and things, you know, as well, you have to keep hold of it. If that capture point falls, we lose all of our stuff, which is a little bit scary. It's a little bit frightening. So anyway, yeah, again with the gun axes. So the gun axes is actually something that we'll see another example of this in a bit. How form and function match in a really nice way. Kislev has been built to really fit Kislev. They haven't just gone, oh, we'll just give them uniforms that look, you know, sort of Polish or Russian or something, you know, sort of Eastern European medieval uniforms, you know, just be the Empire but with bigger coats. Like, no, the actual purposes of their units fit the environment really well, and I applaud that. I think that's fantastic, and I love that that is consistent. There's another great example coming up later that's a bit more fantastical than, like, a gun that's also an axe. But I do love a gun that's also an axe. How can you not? So the strelts are very cool in my eyes. So we just got some Ungol horse archers. So the Ungol are basically Mongols. Okay, so Kislev is made up of a few different cultures. 3 different cultures, I believe. There's the Ungols. And the Gospodars. And I think there's a third. I can't entirely remember. But, yeah, so different cultures sort of bleed into the faction, which I think is really cool there. Really cool indeed. But yeah, the Ungols are basically just Mongols. So they got horse archers, which adds some variety to their sort of modes of combat, which I really like. I think it's really interesting. Gives some interesting variety because they are a very traditional army. Kislev behave very traditionally, which I think is a great trend, actually. I think it's good they've done this, because in Game 1, you obviously had the Empire. In Game 2, you had High Elves, and now you have Kislev. So yes, they have all their unique things, you know. Like a traditional army doesn't have, you know, in our world, doesn't have a range of wizards, right? It doesn't have access to various laws of magic. But having that sort of rank and file infantry, very traditional infantry, sort of, and for the good guys as well, I think is very important in a game like this. You know, for people who haven't played Warhammer or just, you know, they just want to fit with that sort of the expected strategies of an army. It's very easy to understand if you like war games to be like, oh yeah, of course, I got the spearmen, they'll guard against the cavalry, blah blah blah. So I think Kislev do a good job of that too. Very traditional feeling army. You know, it feels like it has the same rock paper scissors that you expect from a war game. So I think that's important to have like good guys that play like something you can relate to. So they have done a good job of that. So, oh, those winged lancers, I just love them. They're so good. So good. 60 charge bonus as well. It's pretty tasty. Not that any of these stats really matter, you know, but we just know that the design is they're going to have good charge bonus.
The icon of blood is ours! Beyond the portal wait Kislev's greatest defenders, ready to fight. Use the fresh supplies to summon them. Construct more towers and barricades to help the defense.
So I just summoned a Patriarch, which is one of the heroes of Kislev, and also the Griffin Legion. We just summoned a Griffin Legion unit. The Griffin Legion are basically winged lancers, but they're a very important and skilled sort of chapter of knights, the Griffin Legion. They're very, very good. So very cool. Very cool that we got them. They're really good.
Defenders of Kislev!
Trying to get a good look around, seeing where all the enemies are coming from. So you'll see in that first area, we're still under a lot of pressure. And there's some flying units coming in as well now, which are the Chaos Furies, I believe. So basically harpies, but chaos. But they're very scary. So we've got some cool stuff coming in. I guess more like imps than harpies, but you know, just classic winged demons. It's all very classic demon portrayals, Khorne, you know? Khorne is very traditionally sort of Christian hell, basically. But yeah, so they did manage to get to Australsea, which is very sad, but we've got a bunch of other people coming in for these Skull Crushers. So these Skull Crushers, sadly, they don't have, it's not Bloodletters riding Juggernauts, it's just Chaos Warriors riding Juggernauts, which I think is a bit sad, because it's supposed to be Bloodletters. So Juggernauts are the horrible armoured beasts that their armour is actually a part of their body now. They've been fused together. So they're really gross, hulking death machines. But yeah, it's Bloodletters that tend to ride them, but not this case. Not in this case. It's Chaos Warriors, which might be a similar thing to what we had in Warhammer 2, where Horned Ones were ridden by Saurus Warriors, when actually in canon it was only ever Skinks that could ride Horned One, you know, Cold Ones. So, I don't know, maybe they're taking liberties there. Maybe they're taking liberties, who knows. But they're cool units nonetheless. And Bloodletters is just cool as hell anyway. Bloodletters, their swords can never be taken from them. They're holding the sword, but they can never be disarmed. It's essentially a part of them. And also, it feeds on the souls of those that it kills. So yeah, and that only furthers their bloodlust. It's pretty crazy. It's very Warhammer. You know, it's very demon-y. You know, demons powered by bloodlust. It's good fun. So, Tzarina Katarin has actually got stuck in there. At the moment, you can see a bunch of the demons crumbling there, but there's a bunch of, obviously, Chaos Warriors running around here. Chaos Warriors of Khorne, to be exact, which is fun. I do like that we have those now. Because I was very sad, you know, with Chaos Warriors, that they didn't have any flavour. They didn't have any unique flavour, but now they do. So the Patriarch is going to be heading over there, and I'm going to change my mind, realising that actually this side's looking a bit knackered too. So the towers are going to slow enemies down, which is very useful against those blood... Hang on. Skull Crushers, right? Or are they Blood Crushers? What the hell are they called? Blood Crushers. They're Blood Crushers. It's all blood or skulls. And crushing, and it's all mad. But anyway. They're, yeah, they're good. They're good. We really got to watch out for them. And here you can see there are dual-wielding Chaos Warriors now, because you can't really have Khorne without them going, ooh, if I drop this shield and pick up another axe, I can behead twice as many people at a time. So, of course, there are dual-wielding Chaos Warriors now, which, again, is nice to have that flavour. You know, it's good to have that Chaos-divided flavour. So, I'm super happy about that. But yeah, so the Patriarch there, the Patriarch we have here, I think I'm about to use one of his abilities. So here you can see Sol... If you saw that, barely. It was for a second. I'm actually going to put it back as... Whoops, I clicked in the wrong place. Hang on, where are we? Solyak, come back. We were 20 minutes in. Oh, flippin' heck. Hang on. Okay, almost there. Don't mind me, guys, don't mind me. I mean, it's just getting highlight. It's a highlight reel. Don't worry about it. And, okay, we just clicked Ursun's Roar. That I did a bit later. Hang on. Okay, I had already cast it then. Again, don't mind me, guys. I told you guys, it's going to be casual. Did I say it's going to be casual? It's going to be casual. Okay, come on, mate. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Nope, that was Ursun's Roar again. You know what, never mind. It's got a thing called Solyak's Lullaby. And Solyak is basically Kislev's version of Shalia, who is the god of healing and things for the Empire. It's one of the Empire's pantheon. So I love the inclusion of the gods here as their abilities. I also got Ursun's... Was it Ursun's Fury or something? So he's got two abilities, both connected to the pantheon of Kislev, which is brilliant. I love that as a thing. So Ursun being the bear god, who is very similar to Ulrich. So Ulrich is wolves, Ursun is bears, but generally they have very similar flavour. You know, in terms of like worship through hunting those creatures, but with respect. So, for instance, you can, for both of those religions, you can only wear the pelts of either a bear or a wolf, depending on the religion, if you have bested it yourself, you know, in combat, or using the weapons that you have built yourself, which I think is really cool. Also, with bears, you can't hunt them in the winter, because you've got to let them sleep, because, you know, it'd be unfair to kill them while they're hibernating. But anyway. Oh.
One final push to the boiling moat. We must seize the icon of torment and tempt Khorne, gatekeeper, from his lair.
So there's some fun flavour there, sort of regional flavour, different takes on similar gods. So Solyak is, you know, essentially Shalia, but more so relating to mercy, which is an interesting thing, which again just really helps add flavour to Kislev. So it's like I said, with sort of Kislev being sort of the climate dictating what its units are like, you know. It's the same with its religion, and the fact that we have an impression of that religion with its units, then you sort of get that double feeling of like, oh, that religion stands for this thing, therefore this is what these people stand for. It sort of reinforces, one thing reinforces the other. So Solyak is more the god of mercy, so euthanasia is a very common thing for followers of Solyak to perform, because they know when the time, you know, when it's time just to prevent suffering rather than healing, right? Shalia is more about saving lives, which Solyak does do, but they know when to say enough's enough, and you just got to sometimes negate misery, which I think is that sort of fatalist attitude that you would have living in an icy wasteland, right? I think it makes a lot of sense. And it feels very Kislev. It's very dour place, very dour people. So I like that. I like that a lot. So, one thing as well. Down in the bottom, you can see I did at some point get Little Grom. 2 units of them, which are artillery pieces. Which, they're in the middle somewhere. You might glance them in a minute. They are ice sleds with artillery pieces on them, dragged around by bears. So this is the example that I said, like, you know, like the Streltsys, we had another example of this where, you know, their environment has led to their design, their circumstances led to the design of their units, to inform that. What better way to get artillery through, like, you know, all these kinds of harsh terrains, like deep snow and, like, frozen lakes and everything. Like, try and get artillery through deep snow. Not gonna happen. Need to put on a sled. But, what about just normal land? Like, that's it's not great to have a sled. You still kind of need wheels. No, floating magic ice, right? Being dragged around by bears. Nothing's going to stop that. Nothing is going to stop that artillery piece. And horses probably aren't going to have a fun time dragging that stuff through the snow. Bears, nah, they can do it. No worries. Right, they're all brawn. They can manage it. They can drag those things wherever you need them to go. So I love that. It just feels so functional, but so fantastical at the same time, which is perfect. That's perfect for Warhammer. You know, if you look at a Warhammer unit and you go, is it a good Warhammer unit? I don't know, is it fantastical? Yeah. Does it fit a function? Yeah. Done. Warhammer unit done there. Love it.
And summon forth the greatest of the motherland's champions.
So now we have access to more things to summon. Once we have oh, another assault's coming. So once we have more resources, once we have more supplies, we're about to summon even greater variety of things. So the variety of things that will actually be dictated by how you're doing the campaign. So all the reinforcements we have here, they will be things that we earn throughout the campaign. I don't know how, but it will have an impact. So, you know, if you want access to a bunch of different sorts of reinforcements, that will be something that you will be, you know, you'll have as rewards for doing various things. Or the same thing over and over again, I really don't know yet. But the point is, it will be dictated by the campaign. So your performance in campaign will have an impact on the battle, as it always should. You know, so you can't just sort of come here with some bare bones army and expect that, you know, knowing, oh, well, there's always that pool of reinforcements. I just need to get them and I can win with just those ones. No, you'll have to earn those too. So, you know, it's good. I like that. I hate the idea of being given freebies. I found the end of the Vortex campaign, we got a bunch of free spells. They were fun to use, but also made the battle feel a bit more trivial. It didn't feel earned in the same way. So I like that. So here we have Warbear Riders. I don't really need to explain what they are, do I? So, yeah, here they are. Oh, they're so good. So good. Oh, and the Patriarch as well. He's riding a bear, which is amazing. Love that. Yeah, Patriarch's good. So the Warbear Riders, they're anti-large armor piercing, as you'd expect. These massive monsters. They're fantastic. So they're going to be really good for killing cavalry and greater demons. So here, Bloodthirster is coming in. So the Bloodthirsters are the most powerful of all the greater demons. But that makes sense because they're not really going to be very canny. They run purely on instinct and bloodlust. So, you know, most dangerous to go toe-to-toe with, but also you can go anyone can go toe-to-toe with them, even when it doesn't benefit them. You know what I mean? Other chaos, other chaos demons are a bit more savvy than Khornes. Khornes are a little bit predictable. You know, if they see you, they will try and chop your head off. That doesn't necessarily make a lot of people feel better, you know, but it's nice to know that they're like predictably. So that's good. But you can see the back line. I am actually struggling to hold. So I was being a little bit coy about using the healing upgrades with the supplies, because this is my first time through the through this battle. So I wasn't really sure how many supplies I'd get, whether, you know, how many units I'd get, reinforcements, how much I was being up against. I didn't know. So I was a bit coy using those upgrades. And honestly, just healing stuff, as soon as it starts to look a bit disheveled, you can keep things going pretty much forever. Because that's the thing, you start losing models, you're going to lose that cohesion of that unit. Speaking of cohesion for units, so I summoned in a big elemental bear there, which is awesome, by the way. Just really cool unit, love it. But those things are, it's a good example of every single model entity in the game now. Any single model monster, so, you know, giant elemental bears, dinosaurs, you know, a carnosaur or something, they all have a new effect applied to them called Wounded. So now, if you get a single model entity below half health, they're going to have the Wounded condition, which is going to lower their speed and their, I think it's weapon damage, but certainly make them worse at killing you and also easier to catch, which is very cool. And it also incentivizes you to actually bother attacking a big thing rather than just killing the rest of the army and hoping it runs away. You know, there's actually reason to, like, get some damage into something, or focusing your fire on a single model unit that might be, you know, all that can catch up to you. You know, that might be the thing. You might want to slow down the enemy. So you focus fire on a big monster so you can slow it down so you can outrun it and rely on cycle charging more without it being able to catch you. Stuff like that. So I think that's really cool. I think that's a really nice change. I think that helps put single model entities in line with sort of their sort of damage versus performance curve, I guess, of other units. Makes them feel more in line with sort of, you know, non-monstrous units, which I think is great. I think that's a really nice touch. It's such a simple thing, but very effective, I feel. So, so yeah, things are looking pretty good. Generally, but obviously, our back line is just wrecked. We're about to finish this wave. And no more capture points, you know. Oh, Skull Cannons came in as well, so Skull Cannons are really cool as well. Skull Cannons are very unlike Khorne, because Khorne doesn't like magic and he doesn't like missiles. That is the one exception, those missiles there. So the Skull Cannons are basically demon-fueled lawnmowers that they will drive into combat, right, grind anything they hit into dust, and just, well, not into dust, into a skull, and then misc. So the miscellaneous matter will just be spat out of the back of it, but they'll keep hold of the skull, which will remain alive. It'll still be alive in there, and it'll be imbued with hatred and flames.
Khorne's gatekeeper shows himself at last! Warriors of Kislev, prepare for the fight of your lives!
So, hatred and flames, and the skull will be launched at the enemy, right, with the cannon, you know, into whatever enemies haven't been crushed by this demon lawnmower, and it'll blast the skull at people, which will just obliterate them, and then when it lands, it'll remain intact, it'll still remain intact, and just shout insults and curses at anyone nearby, you know, tell them they're about to die and it can't wait, laugh at them, just generally be awful. just generally just be a terrible dinner guest. Yeah, if you decide, okay, well, I'm going to crush it underfoot, it's the only way to shut it up, which is the only way to shut it up, just to crush the skull, it'll curse you forever to have nightmares every night until the day you die. So it's just bad. Terrible dinner guest. Terrible. So here, this Bloodthirster, which I should have spoken about earlier, really, but I wanted to finish the skull cannon thing, because it's so Khorne to be like, well, I hate guns, but as long as they're fueled by things that they have to, like, harvest from the bodies of their enemies anyway, like, it still feels like you're really putting in the work, right? It doesn't feel so cowardly when the ammunition is other enemies of yours. You know, you're still putting in the legwork, which Khorne respects. But anyway, so we have that Bloodthirster came in, which is, I think, an exalted Bloodthirster, or a Bloodthirster Lord, something of that nature. And you can see, actually, it's rank above it, rank 10. We've got, like, the rank 1 units in our own forces there. At least I believe that's what those numbers are representing. I find it odd that Tzarina Katarin is only at rank 1, but might be, you know, for this demo. Might just been, oh, here's rank 1 Katarina, go ahead. You know, no buffs, have fun. Oh, it shows all the spells, but hey, it's a battle demo, you know, whatever. It's a demo. Things don't have to make sense. But yeah, so this guy's the boss fight, so we have to defeat him to win. That's Khorne's gatekeeper. This is the champion that he's elected to, you know, come and stop us on this little crusade of ours. You might notice pop-ups on the right. Your building was destroyed. The building's all gone because we lost that capture point. So we got overrun at the back, and now all those units are going to keep coming. So I actually left the cannons back there, even though they are fairly fast at 35 speed. You know, those bears can really drag him around. I didn't realise they were quite nippy. I could have got them up here to join the fight proper, but no, I left them back. Which partly was fine, because I thought, oh, they can shoot backwards or forwards, you know? I can shoot it towards either capture point, maybe, you know? It gives me some versatility there, but probably should just brought them up here. So, getting some shots in. We did actually just lose a tower, because those skull cannons can fire at towers, so we did lose one, which is pretty cool. I do like that's a thing. They do aim for them, try and take them down. So, still got our elemental bears, just getting real stuck in. It's pretty great. And Tzarina Katarin having a great time. Ah, just wonderful. The spectacle is definitely there. You know, every game like this, gotta have spectacle. And we have it. Oh, one other thing I'd like to mention. The exalted adjective just seems to be applied to a bunch of stuff. During this battle, we had a bunch of exalted bloodletters attacking us, which I don't know if that's just like a easy sort of cheap way to flesh out the rosters a bit. It feels a bit iffy. I don't really like that. Oh, so summoning in a bunch more stuff. Whenever you lose units, it just goes back into the recruitment pool so you can get them back, which is great. But of course, we're in some sort of a material realm. Like, none of this exists. It exists and it doesn't. It's the realm of chaos. It's all a mess, right? It exists as magic. It's crazy. So, whatever. We can summon our guys back in after they die. It's a good time. So, I completely lost track of what I was saying. What was I saying? Oh yeah, exalted. So yeah, exalted stuff. I don't know if it's a bit of a cop-out. It feels a bit of a cop-out. I don't like it when you have in any game when it's here's a new unit, it does the same as the other unit but better. Like, that's really a bit rubbish. You know, I like being given different utility by different units, because to me that feels well, more fun, more to explore. And it means that no unit becomes obsolete. But when you have a unit that's exactly the same, but better, then you've made the other unit obsolete. And if anything, that doesn't add variety to the roster. That just means you have to replace stuff more often, which I think is a bit sad. So, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. That might just be, you know, because we're in survival mode, it's just a way to have some more Chaos Demons that are a little bit beefed up, you know? It could just be a way to do that. Or, Exalted could be one of many adjectives, you know, that come with sort of different marks of chaos or something. Who knows? Who knows? I don't. There's certainly things to speculate about. But I'm hoping that it's not just a direct upgrade of the base unit, because that would feel a bit boring. So, looks like that Bloodletter is having... not Bloodletter, Bloodthirster is having a bad day. We finally got him wrapped up. Giant bears just tearing at him. Seriously, the elemental bears are so cool. Just giant ice elementals. They look spectacular. They really do. So yeah, he should be down soon. Just wonderful. So obviously we've seen the Lord Magic, Ice, obviously Ice Magic. but there's also lore of tempests as well, which is brand new. So that's going to be really cool to see as well. We didn't see it in this, but I know it exists because the interview that I will be posting at some point. Either some of the interview or all the interview, I don't know yet. I haven't got around to that yet. But I did have an interview with some of the devs. It's a group interview, so we'll see how much I post, I'm not sure. But,
my brave Kislevites, we stand triumphant. But Khorne is not the only dark god with a realm in this accursed place. The battle is won, but the war goes on. Come, we must continue our search for what is lost.
okay, so that's the demo. That is the demo battle. So yeah, the, what do you call it? Tempest, new lore of magic, which is awesome. I love that we have that. I think that's really good. I can't wait to see what that entails, because that's going to be very interesting, to have a brand new lore of magic. So I'm very much looking forward to that. Now, I'm going to let questions in the comments pile up and try and get around to answering what I can. Obviously, I can't do anything about campaign, and I'm very confused about what I have said and what I haven't, or what I've managed to cover and what I haven't managed to cover, because this is my third attempt at recording this because my audio kept crapping out, which which means I'm very confused when I try to cover a bunch of points, because I have definitely said everything I've said in this video multiple times. Possibly in this video, I have said it multiple times. So I'm just going to loop random nonsense for a bit, so enjoy. There's background noise there. So yeah, so I will be covering some more of this, obviously, when I can. I am going to be posting the second battle I had as a standalone video without commentary. So the second battle will be out at some point. I don't know my schedule. I really have no idea what's happening. And there'll also be an interview going up at some point. And yeah, over the next few days or weeks, if there's anything I find interesting that I should add, or if a bunch of questions add up to a bunch of interesting stuff that I had missed initially, then maybe I'll do a follow-up video just to fill in those blanks, or whatever else. So still no release date on this game. I did ask them about that. I know that'll be a big question. It is in the interview, but I did ask them about that, and nothing. They're not telling us anything yet. But it is available for pre-order right now, and if you get it from my store at nexus.gg/Janet, then I get a commission from that. If you do it from Friday, so tomorrow, the day after this video is published, then I get double, because Nex is doing a event. So if you are looking to pre-order it, then do it tomorrow and from me, because I don't get sick pay, and I've been off for a month. So losing a month of ad revenue, I'd appreciate it if you guys pre-ordered the game from me. Only if you're actually pre-ordering it. I generally don't like pre-ordering. I think it sort of promotes bad business practices, or encourages them. But I think it will have more of an impact on my life than the gaming industry for you to pre-order this, so I think fair enough. So there you go. I'll be a hypocrite. So okay, so I've managed to sell out. Comment, like, subscribe, everyone. Brilliant. Done that bit now. I guess I've ticked all the boxes. So ask me whatever questions you like. I'll answer them if I can, but generally I think everything I do know I'm allowed to tell you, but I don't know much. So that should about do it. So everyone have a lovely evening. I can't wait to be able to show you more of this game, because I am super excited. I mean, look at it. It's great. It is gorgeous and very exciting. So I'll leave it there. So guys, if you enjoyed it, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day, guys.